We're just a very good team.
All right. Reaction Monday back again. Talk your shit. Got my guys here, Mr. Chris.
What's up?
And Mr. Bunyansi, that boy Brennan. All right. Gotta start it off, man. My Bengals. Tough loss.
Are they the Bengals again, or they back?
Whoa. I think we shut them Bengals. That name of the Bengals, but damn, bro, it's hard to be a team 4 times, Joe.
Whew.
But shout out to my guy Chris here, this Eagle fan. All right, the rational Eagle fan. You know what I mean? Welcome to the
listen, we did what we were supposed to do. We did what we were supposed to do. You put a team in. We can't control who's on the field. Purdy went out. Johnson went out. That's how the game is played, man. It's not our fault. And although everybody, what's that guy's name? Nick Wright said that Purdy would have beat us. Let me explain something to you, and then we'll move on.
Go ahead.
That rush was coming all day. Purdy, Garoppolo. If Joe Montana wasn't playing for the Niners, they had no shot. Like, there was no way that a rookie quarterback, and I kept quiet all week, there was no way a rookie quarterback was coming down to the link and beating us. So it's impossible.
You thought there was no chance for them?
No chance. I think we spoke on Friday, and I said there's a lot of likely scenarios. There's a lot of different scenarios that can come out of this game. Mm-hmm. And one is we blow them out.
Yeah.
And I said that like quietly, like, one is we blow them out. I just didn't believe in Purdy, and I didn't want to tell everybody that because I like to, be a rational fan. I was like,
you believe in jinx.
Yeah, but I didn't believe in Purdy like the way that everyone else believed in Purdy. I thought he was a good quarterback, great story, loved the story, being Mr. Irrelevant. But if you watch the Dallas game, we're better than Dallas. There was no way. And they got to him. If Dak was a quarterback, they probably win that game, But hey, listen, we're thankful.
Got a fun fact for you. And I didn't want to say this because I did fear this coming in, but both the Niners and the Bengals was on 10-game winning streaks, the longest winning streaks in the season.
Yeah. So yeah, they were both hot, man. So they were due for a loss.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you think about the refs? Do you think the refs played a big factor in the Bengals situation?
100%, bro.
Nah.
But refs play a big factor in every game. I don't blame the refs for that loss. I'm gonna be honest. I don't blame.
Okay, all right. Now that's what I was curious about.
I'm not going to say, the refs blew that game because you know what I mean. Like, you can't let the game come down to the refs anyway. If you let the game come down to the refs,
that's true.
You fuck up. So
there you go. That's a rational Bengal fan right there. That is a normal football objective answer.
It's still tough, bro. It's still tough, bro. What you got, Brendan? What you think?
No, I agree. Like, listen, the refs play. Listen, the refs do play a role, but I felt like the fourth quarter was like it was there for the taking for both Mahomes and Burrow, and I felt like
100%.
it was interesting to see that, like, okay, are they going to score? No, they got the turnover. Are they going to, like, Mahomes had the fumble, and then are they going to score? Burrow throws a pick. So I was just like, it was really interesting to see literally the top 2 quarterbacks get really tight in this game. You could really see that, like, oh, it's coming. Like, they understand that, like, if we lose this game, our run is over and their run might begin. Or if they win this game, so it was a really, like, in terms of, like, just, like, get deep diving, like, getting into the psyche of both quarterbacks. It was just like, oh, they feel it and they're there. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, was that an asinine late hit? Of course, but, like,
right.
And me personally, I think we've been talking about it all podcasts, all playoffs. I didn't like it when Dak was showing up Brent Maher and missing the field goals. I didn't like when Stephon Diggs was calling out Josh Allen, like, not giving him the ball. And I didn't like that. I mean, it's just like, listen, it's football. I know you want to have like a victim. You want to have somebody to, like, point your aggression to, but I mean, just at least wait till the cameras go off, man. Just
I'm talking about
don't
my
like
boy Playoff P. You talking about Playoff P? Jermaine Pratt yelling
Yeah.
Oh, when they
that.
were walking in the video, of them walking into the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, come
but
on.
look, his defense. All right, that probably goes on a lot. They just got it on camera. It's not like
Yeah, I mean, it certainly goes.
it's not
on.
like he was at
Football
the.
team.
It's not like he
53
was
men,
like
you know,
at the podium and they like talking to him and they interviewing him. He's like, "Yo, it's his fault." That's him walking to the locker room, pure emotions. He probably wasn't the only one on the team that thought that. You got me? He just said it out loud.
That was a tough loss, man.
It was a tough
that
loss,
was a
man.
tough.
Look,
Tough blows.
but I mean,
yeah,
listen,
like as long as you understand that's not why they lost, and that I do think that the intentional grounding call was questionable, but then they got the first down right after, so it's kind of like, do you really?
That's what you call home field advantage. If you,
I mean, that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. That's what home field is.
That's what home field advantage
get more calls at home.
We didn't lose. We lost strictly off of that D lineman. We lost strictly off of Chris Jones. That's it.
That was the difference, man. I mean, that was the difference. Like, that was the difference in the Buffalo game. Buffalo didn't have anybody.
They didn't have Chris Jones. He essentially did what Aaron Donald did to us last year. You get me? Like,
right. Did Mahomes cement himself as the number one guy? Do you think that he came in and said, "Yo, I'm gonna let you guys know I'm number one. I'm not even playing. You can say what you want. I'm the best."
As a Bengals
he cement that yesterday.
As a Bengals fan, let me jump on this one. As a Bengals fan. All right, look, I love Joe Burrow.
Right.
I probably, at the end of the day, I still wouldn't take nobody over Joe Burrow, but it is Mahomes, and it's like there's still a gap there because Pat Mahomes did that. He beat us. Now, granted, our D line is not the one, and this is why I think the Eagles is going to get to them. I'm not going to say who's going to win yet, but our D line is not the Eagles D line. When Pat Mahomes lost in the Super Bowl last time because he got pressured, like real pressure from a solid D line, and that's what most quarterbacks. Our D line is good, but they're not the D line of the Eagles. But for him to do what he did with no receivers,
I mean,
and then one leg,
crazy.
And this is why I say it too, because I'm like, all right, and this is what I fear. I know Joe Burrow is still gonna be great, still gonna be elite. But my man, he got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase compared to who Pat Mahomes had on the other side. So I'm a realist. I'm a realist.
Yeah.
But I do believe there's no other quarterback better than Joe Burrow than Pat Mahomes. But I didn't like what they said when they was like, "Yo, Tony Romo, I can't stand him." I think he said, it's like Jordan versus Drexler. Oh, do not compare my boy to Clyde Drexler, bro.
He really did him dirty with that one too.
Oh my, I was so mad.
He really did him dirty because everybody knows. We all saw Last Dance. Jordan was like, "Yeah, I want to show you not better than me."
But
and that's the thing. I mean, like football, like that's the funny thing about football, man. Yeah. I mean, Burrow definitely threw 2 terrible interceptions. And there was, listen, and you also, like, at the end of the day, there was one interception. I don't even blame him. I mean, that's just a great play by the cornerback. Tip ball, guy coming out of nowhere. Like, those are the plays that win you games. Those are the plays that need to happen in order to advance in the playoffs. Plays like that. Like, how often does that happen? That guy was getting cooked all day. And he tips one up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so that's like you said, that's the shifts and the balances in football, man. You know,
but you know what's funny?
But
you know what's funny? When you comparing that Jordan moment, right? Think about when Jordan won his 6 rings, right? He went through like a different person every year, right? Where it was like, it was Drexler, it was what's his name, Gary Payton one year, it was Charles Barkley another year. So is that about to be Allen, Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert? Is he about to do that?
I mean, listen, man, that is a gauntlet in the AFC. And some of those guys are really well coached too. So, it's going to be an interesting, like the AFC. And then, there's a lot of talk about A-Rod coming to New York City.
Hey, there you go, Jeff.
Please. Oh,
You know? How do you feel about that? That's a lot of talk. Would you want A-Rod over anyone? Would you, all right, if you had the option between A-Rod and David Carr, are you going to go with A-Rod?
A-Rod, absolutely. No questions asked. Like, I feel like where the Jets are now is eerily similar to like the Rex Ryan years. Shut down corner
Right.
DeMar Revis, shut down corner and Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, now you guys got defense, man.
Top 5 running game with Brees Hall, Michael Carter, Braxton Berrios. Top 5 running game with Thomas Jones and Sean Green. Top 5 defense. Top 5 defense. I feel like we can't like I feel like I would rather get Aaron Rodgers and lose in the Super Bowl than like get like, say for example, a Jimmy G and then like have like maybe a 2-year run where we're knocking on the door. Like I feel like this is our moment because it's just like I don't know. I feel like in the NFL right now, it is if you're willing to go get it, like really go get a ring. And that's what guys like the Rams understand. That's what you guys, Howie Roseman understands. If you're willing to go get the ring, you can have it more than any other time in the history of the sport. And that's why I think like you saw Tom Brady recognize me like, okay, if I go down here and I take these guys with me, and you know, AFC South is like one of the worst divisions of all time, we can have a through line to the playoffs and, you know, land with the chips land. But like for us, I feel like you gotta go get an A-Rod. You got to heck.
What's a Hail Mary for your organization though? Because Saleh and Douglas are out if this doesn't work. Like you guys hired Nathaniel Hackett in the hopes and the prayer. Like, because the guy had maybe he's a good offensive coordinator. Who knows still? Literally the worst season you could possibly have as a football coach. And the Jets are so desperate as an organization to bring in A-Rod that they're like, you know what? Let me throw this guy. Sal's like, yo, let me throw this guy a bone. Like, we're all fucked. Yeah. We're all out. Oh, sorry. I know we're all out of here if this doesn't work.
I was like, unless.
So you might as well go for it, man.
I was like, we better have done some like tampering where we got like a wink. Oh, I'm definitely coming. Just give up the 2 first-round picks.
Well, I believe Denver thought they had a wink too, and then Russell Wilson got his own office, and now the team is a disaster.
Listen, man. It's gonna be.
We
crazy,
got all
man.
season to talk about them Jets. We gotta get back to reaction Monday. Take it.
Look, just real quick, just back to that question of Mahomes separating himself. I remember Nick Ray had a funny segment where he said it was Mahomes 1, Burrow 2, and then Mahomes on one leg as the top 3 quarterbacks.
You did say that this week.
And then after watching yesterday, I was like, that's not hyperbole, man. That was like, damn, like we've been saying, like. No receivers, and then Rich, to your point, he had Tiggins and Jamar. Man, I was just like, that is like crazy.
Yeah, he made it. Listen, the guy made an unbelievable play at the end of that game.
And I think, not the drive that they ended up kicking the field goal, but like the drive prior to that, like, and even Romo called it out. Mahomes had he ran out the pocket and then he like planted on the leg and he made a throw, and you could just see like it was his throw. All the pain just rushing back. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, nah, dude is tough, man. I mean, listen, he's a winner. He's one of those guys. He's cool. He's calm. He's collective. You gotta love that. Like, I don't hate them going into the week. It's tough. I mean, I'm definitely rooting against them, but I don't hate Reed and Mahomes. Right. You know, like I hate Cam Newton. That I was like, if we were playing those guys, that was super random, but I hate him. I don't hate. Like, I hated the Giants. I hate Danny Dimes. I hate Dak Prescott. Like, it's easy for me to root against those guys.
I think you're a fan of good quarterback play.
Love quality quarterback play. I love good organizations, you know. So, it's important to see. I mean, I think it's good to see, like, you appreciate, and listen, we want Mahomes 100% healthy. You know, as I'm sure they want Jalen 100% healthy.
Yep.
Like this is what you want, you know? Like Jalen's definitely hurt. Something's wrong with his shoulder. I mean, unless he just totally regressed in the moment, but then he's running, so it's kind of like, all right. But our offense is so simple, and we just stomp you. Like, if they listen, man, they say it's all about the trenches, then it's gonna be a very tough day for Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how good Mahomes is. It is going to be a very tough day if the game is in the trenches. But Jalen's 100% going to have to make plays, though.
Oh yeah.
He can't miss AJ on that shot again against Mahomes, and we can't give him chances, man. Our goal is we got to keep Mahomes off the field.
I don't know. I disagree, bro. I can see you guys winning this game with Jalen Hurts having a bad game, not having to make no throws,
I can
bro.
see us
one throw, bro.
Now, listen, I can see us winning with him having a bad game, but I think he's going to have to make a play versus having a good game, if that makes sense.
But when you say
like
that play,
you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to have to do something.
Throwing? Because that play could be him running.
It could be him running. Like, he's going to have to make a play. I think early, one of the things that we do early is we throw to open up the run.
Yeah.
And, that's going to be key to see how we can get that going, because they got 2 rookie cornerbacks out there, and Spagnuolo's going to have to pick and choose what to do. And they only got maybe 2, 3. I mean, they got 3 guys on the other side but their receivers do not put any fear in the Philadelphia Eagles whatsoever.
Play is going to have
if Mahomes beats y'all, bro, then he's really the GOAT, bro. He might be the GOAT.
Nah, dude.
If he beats y'all,
this team reminds me of the Ravens team. We just have a more explosive quarterback. The 2000 Ravens with Jamal, with that monster defensive squad.
Are you calling yourself the Ravens defense of 2000?
Bro, our defense is unbelievable in today's football. The way today's football is played, and we have a better quarterback than Trent Dilfer. Like, our 100%. Guy can make plays, right? I mean, they got Jamal Lewis, but I'm saying is they remind me of that type of team. Like, they didn't do anything fancy. They just ran the ball, played great defense, and their team got a lot of takeaways, I mean, that's a legendary team, dude. That's Siragusa, that's Ray Lewis. I mean, that's a legendary team. I'm just saying, we have a team similar to that in the sense of how we play. Simple. We either run the ball or we're burning you with AJ. There's nothing complex about our offense at all. A couple of little routes here and there, but there is nothing complex.
Listen, man, speaking of running the ball, I mean, against the Giants, I had 258 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Last night, I had 140. I'm like, God, what? Like,
what stood out to me? They said that San Francisco is the best defense, but they got very undisciplined, and that helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
They had back-to-back penalties, and that was one of our issues early in the year with our O-line. We were getting all kinds of offsides penalties. But their defense, they got rattled, man.
I mean, I did not expect to see Trent Williams get just like manhandled on some of those plays. I was like, Trent?
Nah. We got some goons on Yo, you gotta think, Sue comes off the bench. So you're going against Fletcher Cox, and then you think you're getting a breather, Jordan Davis, Sue. Our line is crazy, Graham. And then you got Hassan Reddick, who, we had 70-plus sacks this season. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. So you just think about, like, the pressures that we get on the quarterbacks.
I got to play devil's advocate, though. All
right.
Bro, to be honest, though, when it comes to the 49ers defense, right, you got to look at it like this. When Purdy got hurt, bro, they were done, bro. They knew they were done, bro. No matter what they did, bro, they knew they were done. So that's a mental thing. You get me? I felt like the defense was kind of pressing because it had to put it on their back. For you guys blowing them out, it didn't feel like a blowout. Maybe let me not say that. Like, you should have had more points. I don't think the offense played particularly
We didn't throw the ball.
It's just,
I play like shit.
Bro, in the third, fourth quarter, the game was so boring, they ran it every time. Like, what the?
That's what we want to do. What do we need? Why do we need to throw the
I'm
ball
talking
to
about
entertain
the
the
Niners ran
fans?
it every time because they couldn't, you know what I mean? They didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, bro, we knew that. That's not our fault.
What I'm saying. So, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like, okay, I do believe you guys are going to win, but if Purdy did play, it's not that.
Yeah, it'd have been 28-10 if Purdy would have played.
Nah, it would have been closer.
Stop.
It would have been.
Stop
it would have been.
Right now. Yeah, everybody saying it would have been closer.
They would have scored at least 21.
You know what I would? You know what I would say?
Chance.
You know what I would say? Just as I felt like Dallas. I felt like Dallas and the Eagles had the personnel to run what Seattle was trying to do in that first
100%.
round. But I felt like the difference was better coaching by Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts being able, even though he couldn't run, like I talked about, that big playability.
But he's a threat, and you got to account for him. Greg Olsen is a great commentator. He made a great call. When Fred Warner was standing in the hole waiting for the RPO, that gave us another 10 seconds. He said, you turn a guy that can run 4.5, now he runs 4.8 the way that the Eagles run their offense. Yeah. And that's a big difference. Mm-hmm. You know, that extra 2-3 seconds, Sanders is down the field. And Gainwell is underrated, man.
Gainwell.
Where did he come from?
Gainwell is super
we got that change of pace that Miles Sanders don't have. So that's what it is.
We got a real tough team, man. And if Jalen just if they force him to play, which they should force him to throw and test his shoulder, if that's what I would do if I'm that defense. Because if they try to stop us from running the ball, they have no shot. They're just not big enough. We're just gonna maul them, unless we get down, unless some crazy shit. Listen, it's the Super Bowl, man. Nerves are at a high level.
Absolutely.
You got to play. All the stuff that you did, the 70 sacks that we had during, doesn't mean anything on Sunday. Who's going to come to perform under the bright lights? And Mahomes has been there. I do trust Jalen to play well under the bright lights. I think he's built for the moment. The guy is the ultimate team guy, man.
Yeah.
His journey is crazy to get here, and he's humble. I was a little bit nervous about the fit before the game yesterday, though.
About the Barney suit, but
this guy's got a purple leather jacket on, man. I was like, some girl got in his ear for sure.
Listen, man, he can get away with that. That's the quad father right there.
Now he can do whatever he wants. So you bring that chip back to Philly. No one cares what you wear.
Oh, my gosh, bro. Back to Philly.
Oh. Yo, so I got a question for you guys, man. It's a little off topic, kind of a little off the. Do you guys think it's a big deal that it's 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
What's your take, Rich?
It's definitely a big deal. I felt like we had it before. I didn't know this was the first one.
No, this is the first time.
And Mahomes.
Mahomes is like me.
I forgot. Yeah.
Nah, it's a big deal, especially because every time I find this so frustrating.
Okay.
Mahomes can stay in the pocket and he has the fundamentals, but he just prefers to do underhand tosses, no look cooks, all that backyard football that we just love. It's like he's playing Madden. But every time he does that, the commentators will be like, "Oh man, he's getting loosey goosey with his mechanics. Oh, what is he doing?" He's just that's why his turnovers are so high. And then when it's Jalen, it's just oh, is he a runner? Is he doing this? Yeah, when Danny Dimes runs, it's oh, look at White Lightning. It's just
White Vic.
It's the weirdest thing. So I do think it's shuts the naysayers up, in terms of just having two great, not just we just had to start. No, this is potentially one quarterback that might be the greatest ever when it's all said and done. And another quarterback that literally went from can he even play this position to no, he's legitimately a top 10 quarterback.
Nah,
and they're the 2 MVP finalists. So
I think we're getting everything we want as a game. I just would because I played with a black quarterback in high school, and I know you played football, Rich. I'm assuming you played football too, Brennan. I don't know. We just never looked at him. We never looked at him like a black quarterback. He was just our quarterback. And I just think as a society, one thing that we have to do is we got to not let the media narrate, yo, it's 2 black quarterbacks. Let's look at their characters as men in the community versus oh, we got 2 black quarterbacks. Let's look who they are. They're great team leaders. Everyone loves these guys. They don't have any off the field drama, no shit like that. So I just feel and also as a teammate, I would never be Rich, my black quarterback. No, it's just my quarterback. Yeah. The white teammates, the black teammates say the same thing. So I think we got to try to get away from the narrative and just be these guys are quarterbacks. Yes, it is an important moment for sure. Super Bowl, biggest TV. But if we start to say that, then I think that starts to change the narrative of everything, man. It's not we didn't have great black quarterbacks prior to this, you know?
Right. I didn't even know. I felt like it happened before. It's different. And it's different because there's so many black quarterbacks. I feel like it's a better narrative when it's two black coaches, because there's so many black quarterbacks already. There's not enough black coaches in the NFL. So that one hits more differently for me than if it was you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just something, you know, when
barely any black coaches, barely any black GMs. That's always the story every year. They got that.
That's always going to be the story. So. Mike Tomlin, the only guy the Rooney Rule
holding it down.
Holding it down, man. Oh, man.
Like, it's so crazy to think that. And, you know, we should do a show about the Rooney Rule one day, and like how it's just, in my opinion, it's not a great rule because of the way that businesses operate. It's all relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So part of that has to play a factor. It's like the Buffalo Bills, for example, right? They interviewed a black guy because they had to. They hired the entire Bills staff. Like, the GM came from the Bills. Do we think for 1 second that some guy, this was all planned prior? So we can't sit here and say, oh man, so now the black guy just looks like the dude that's going in for the interview for what?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm not going to get the job. I know Dayball is coming over. So it's like, we got to figure out a way to develop the relationships, and that has to happen. And it's got to start at the top, you know?
I think
definitely has to start at the top.
I think it starts at the ownership level. I think you have to like
100%.
What you're saying is like, you got to have somebody that's like hires when he makes the hire, he's not making the hire because of the Rooney Rule or because
100%. You got to take race out of it. We got to really look at like character and if you're the best for the job. And listen, if all things are equal, and I have Rich, and I have a white guy, and if all things are 100% equal, I'm choosing Rich, not because he's black, because he's my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we have to get to. It's like, that's the relationship. If the resumes are exactly alike, I know Rich. I have a relationship with him. Why am I going to hire the guy I don't know? You know? Or why am I going to work with the guy I don't know? So I think, you know, we start to change things like that. It's hard, but I was just curious your guys' thoughts on that, because I know that the media is going to fucking go nuts with this.
Oh, that's going to be the
black. Hey, yo, wait. All right, check this out. Let's talk about the setup. It's Black History Month. We got 2 black quarterbacks playing in Arizona, the last state to recognize MLK as a day off.
Oh,
so, I'm just saying. Maybe I just leave you guys with that. I don't know.
Oh man, you broke down the science. All
right, man. So all right, let's get a final takes, man.
Okay.
Final takes. How you feeling for this Super Bowl, man?
Oh man,
I feel good, man. I just feel like if we do our job, it's going to be, I feel like we're going to get a great game, but I feel like if we do our job, then, you know, things should come back to Philly.
Yeah, man. I think this is what the first time since that Falcons Patriots that we're having 2-1 seeds. We got the best offense versus the best defense. Like I said, the 2 MVP finalists. I'm really glad that we have this championship bye, so that way Jalen can rest a soldier. Patrick Mahomes in the receiving
rest his ankle.
I feel
close
like
to 100% as possible.
Yeah,
for both of them, right?
I feel like this is gonna be. It's really gonna, like we've been saying every single episode. It's gonna come down to line play, and it's gonna come down to coaching. And I think we're really in for like a really good Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Who's gonna make a play?
Like, yo.
There you go.
So yeah,
there it is.
All right, fellas. Respects, man. Holler at you guys next episode. We tap in.
All right, man. Let's go.
Talk your shit.